Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing clips of an outing that I took out on Lake Geneva just a few days ago. Caught some nice fish, and so I figured I'd use it as a platform to explain a little bit about kayak fishing and why I believe kayak fishing is so great. I'm not going to be talking throughout the whole video, so just to point out a couple of main points and why there's some advantages to kayak fishing. Here's a perfect example. I'm fishing the weed line. We went out deep, we didn't catch much, so we kind of went shallow into the piers, and I'm fishing the weed line, and a fish buries himself in the weeds. Normally, if you're fishing from shore or if you're fishing from a boat, you're going to have to yank that fish out of the weeds, so you have to use heavier gear. With kayak fishing, you can use a little bit of lighter gear because the momentum of your kayak brings you towards the fish, still keeping tension on the line so you can land the fish. And so in this video, able to land a nice little bass. Another benefit to kayak fishing is people are always asking, is it stable? Am I going to fall? I did a modification on this chair, so I'm actually even a little bit more upright, and so I can get a better view of the water. I'll do a tutorial on that, but it's completely stable. As you can see, even my buddy out in the back, he's standing on his kayak, and it takes a little bit of practice. Maybe we'll go do a tutorial on that as well, but these are benefits to kayak fishing that a lot of people don't know and realize. You can reach parts of the water that you wouldn't be able to just by fishing from shore, and it's a lot more economical than buying a boat and paying for gas and paying for launch fees. I don't know. My goal is to get as many people kayak fishing as possible, so hopefully some of these benefits can inspire people to start kayak fishing. This is early morning, and so the water was still pretty calm out on Lake Geneva. If you fished it before, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, during the summer there's a lot of boaters that come out, and so at around 10:30, 11 o'clock, you're still okay. But once it gets into 11:30 and even beyond that, you're gonna kind of have to stay closer to the shore because there's a lot of wake from the boats that keep running around. That is definitely one of the downsides to kayak fishing. You have to know where to fish. You have to be able to know where you're able to go during certain times of the day. You just got to be a lot more mindful of things. It's not just fishing at this point. You're kind of thinking about everything, because whether it's the current or whether it's the boaters or whether it's where the fish is taking you, you're forced to work spots slowly, as opposed to if you're in a boat, you can go from one spot to the other spot. With kayak fishing, you're kind of forced to work certain spots because you're not going to be able to cover as much ground, but that makes it even more enjoyable. In this clip, I'm fishing about 7 feet of water with the polarized glasses. I see a couple bass just to my right. Pitch out to them, no luck, so I pitch a little bit further, hoping that they'll chase after what they saw, and sure enough, we got this nice hookup on this bass. A lot of people think that when you're kayak fishing, you can, if you catch a fish, you're going to be a little bit more tipsy. It's actually very stable, and you can land a lot of big fish on kayaks. If you search YouTube, if you do a search on Google, you'll find a lot of people even catching sharks and all sorts of giant monster fish, tuna, and it just goes to show that there's no limits with kayak fishing. Whether you're fishing freshwater and smaller fish, from panfish to bass to pike to muskie, or you're taking it into the deep blue in the ocean and you're fishing for sharks and for tuna, the stability of a kayak is definitely unmatched in terms of if you're fishing from a canoe or if you're fishing from another small vessel. Wanted to get a little weight on this bass. It was the biggest one of the day, weighed in at just a little over 2.5 pounds. Nothing to brag about, but again, a lot of fun on a kayak. The kayak that I'm fishing from is the Ascend D10T. It's the sit-on-top version. It's actually not a fishing kayak, but I made some modifications, put some rod holders in, raised the seating, so it actually is probably my favorite kayak that I've been fishing out of lately. It's kind of funny to say that because with all the different kayaks that I have, this one, because of the base platform, you're able to do a lot more modifications with it. It's also a shorter kayak, so it's a lot more maneuverable, easier to get on top of my car, and after the finished product, I was able to really just kind of say, hey, this is what I created. And so I'll be doing a tutorial on the Ascend D10T. I'll show you pictures of what it looked like before the modifications and then how it looked like after it became a fishing kayak. This was the last fish of the day. Basically, boaters were coming out a lot more, and so we were going to call it a day. So again, it was more of a light tackle application day. We're using swim jigs and heavier jigs that day, trying to fish the deeper water from about 30 feet going on to about 17 a little as we moved up, but still we couldn't get much. So the bite was definitely over at the piers and the docks. We were pitching light tackle. I was throwing a Gamakatsu weighted jig with a titanium guard. I was using a Yum Senko type worm, about 6 inches. It was watermelon chartreuse in color, and pretty much that's what did the trick for me on this fishing outing. Well, that's pretty much the trip. Again, just wanted to highlight some of the benefits and reasons why I really love kayak fishing, and why I want other people to get involved in kayak fishing. While we were out there, we even saw guys on a paddle boat. I don't know that I'd recommend that, but they were fishing on a paddle boat, and it's just a great way to get exercise by fishing on small craft vessels. And so, with the whole kayak fishing industry and with the people fishing off canoes and people wanting to be a little bit more health conscious, these are just great ways to not only save money, but also to get the exercise that you need, but most importantly to get to the fish that you're unable to get to while you're fishing off the shore. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment if you have any questions, and I'll try to get back to you with any answers that I have. Thank you, and I hope you have a good day.